Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever felt overwhelmed or stressed out by the constant hustle and bustle of life? With everything moving so fast and the world around us always demanding more, it's easy to feel like we're losing our peace. But what if I told you that true peace doesn't come from your circumstances or the outside world? What if I told you that it's already within you, waiting to be discovered? Today, I want to share something that can truly change the way you experience life. I'm going to introduce you to 5 powerful Buddhist principles that can help you reconnect with your inner peace and find stillness, even when everything around you feels chaotic. These principles are not just philosophical concepts, they are practical tools that can be applied to your everyday life, giving you the calm and clarity you've been searching for. Now, I know life can sometimes feel like an endless race. We're constantly juggling responsibilities, chasing goals, and trying to keep up with everything around us. But in the midst of all this, the peace you're looking for doesn't lie in achieving more or doing more. It lies in stopping, in being present, and in understanding the wisdom that's been passed down for centuries. If you're ready to take a deep dive into how Buddhist teachings can help you live a more peaceful and balanced life, stay tuned. These 5 principles could shift the way you see not only the world, but yourself, and open the door to a more peaceful and fulfilled existence. So, grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's explore these timeless teachings together. I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll feel inspired and equipped to embrace inner peace in a whole new way. Part 1, Mindfulness, the first step to inner peace. Have you ever felt like you're going through life without really being there? Your body's present, but your mind is somewhere else, worrying about what's next or replaying what went wrong in the past. That's a state we all fall into, often without even realizing it. And to break free from that cycle, Buddhist wisdom starts us off with a powerful principle, mindfulness. So, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is the practice of bringing your full attention to the present moment. It's about being fully aware of what's happening right now, your breath, your surroundings, your thoughts, without getting lost in regret or anxiety. It's about grounding yourself in the here and now so you can actually experience life instead of just reacting to it. Most of our stress doesn't come from what's happening in the moment, it comes from our minds pulling us in every direction. We're eating, but thinking about our to-do list. We're in a conversation, but distracted by tomorrow's worries. That mental overload disconnects us from the peace that's already available within us. The good news is, mindfulness isn't something only monks or spiritual gurus can do. You don't need to retreat to a mountain or meditate for hours. In fact, the most powerful mindfulness practices are often the simplest, and you can start doing them right now. Here's an example. Next time you eat, try this, put away your phone, turn off the TV, and really pay attention. Notice the flavor of the food, the texture, the temperature. Feel yourself chewing. Be present with every bite. That's mindfulness, and suddenly, something as ordinary as eating becomes a way to calm your mind and reconnect with yourself. Or when you walk, instead of thinking about your schedule, focus on your feet touching the ground. Feel each step. Notice your breath. Listen to the sounds around you. Whether you're walking the dog, doing the dishes, or sipping coffee. Any moment can become a moment of mindfulness. You can start small, like this. Spend 1 minute each morning just breathing and noticing how you feel. When someone speaks to you, really listen instead of planning your reply. When you catch yourself worrying, pause and ask, what's happening right now? Mindfulness doesn't erase your problems, but it helps you respond instead of react. It gives you space to choose your next step, instead of being pulled by old habits or emotions. And as you practice this awareness, you'll begin to see yourself and the world more clearly. Sometimes, all it takes is a return to your breath, your body, and the present moment. Those little check-ins, when you truly notice and accept where you are, can bring a deep sense of peace, even in the middle of a chaotic day. That's the beauty of mindfulness. You don't need to escape life to find peace. You just need to show up fully for the life you already have. So today, try it. Try being mindful for just one ordinary moment, while eating, walking, brushing your teeth. No judgment, no pressure. Just awareness. Every time you do, you're taking one step closer to the calm and clarity that already lives inside you. Part 2, Letting Go, the freedom beyond attachment. Now, let's talk about something that may sound simple but can be one of the hardest things to actually do, letting go. In Buddhist philosophy, one of the deepest sources of our suffering isn't pain itself, it's our attachment to things, people, emotions, and expectations. We hold on so tightly to what we think we need, what we think we deserve, or how we believe life should be, and when reality doesn't match, we suffer. Think about it. How much of your stress or sadness comes from trying to control things that are beyond your control? Or from holding on to anger, past hurts, or outdated beliefs? Letting go doesn't mean you give up or stop caring. It means you release the grip. It means you allow yourself to stop clinging to what's no longer serving your peace of mind. Here's what letting go can look like in real life. Maybe it's forgiving someone, not because they apologized, but because you deserve peace. Maybe it's releasing an old story about yourself that's been holding you back. I'm not good enough, I always mess things up, things never go my way. Those stories aren't facts. They're thoughts, and thoughts can be let go. Or maybe it's even about detaching from outcomes. You do your best at work, in relationships, in life, but you stop obsessing over what must happen. You trust that you'll handle whatever comes, instead of gripping onto expectations so tightly that they steal your joy. Here's a practical exercise you can try today. Think of one thing that's been weighing you down emotionally. It might be a grudge, a regret, a fear. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and imagine physically setting it down, like dropping a heavy bag you've been carrying. Say to yourself, I choose peace over this burden. I don't have to carry it anymore. It may not vanish instantly, but just that shift in mindset starts a powerful healing process. Another way to practice letting go is through forgiveness. Not just of others, but of yourself. We all make mistakes. We've all said things we regret, held on to anger, or hurt people we love. But living in constant self-blame doesn't heal the past, it only keeps us stuck in it. Letting go means you acknowledge what happened, you learn from it, and you give yourself permission to move forward. Here's the truth. Letting go isn't about weakness. It's about strength. It takes courage to release what's familiar, even if it's painful. But in doing so, you make space for something better, peace, clarity, and growth. And remember, you don't need to let go of everything all at once. Start small. Release one thought that's been bothering you. One expectation that keeps creating stress. One resentment that's been stealing your energy. Letting go is a daily practice. Some days will be easier than others. But every time you choose peace over control, kindness over anger, and trust over fear, you're building inner freedom. One of the most powerful things a Buddhist monk once said is this. You can't control the waves, but you can learn to surf. Letting go is learning to surf life's waves, trusting yourself to stay steady even when things feel uncertain. So today, ask yourself, what am I holding on to that's holding me back? And what would my life feel like, if I gently let it go? Take a deep breath, and try. You might be surprised how much lighter you feel. Part 3, Simplicity, the key to mental clarity. Let's take a moment to talk about something that feels incredibly rare in today's busy world: simplicity. In Buddhism, simplicity isn't just a lifestyle, it's a path to mental clarity and inner peace. When life feels overwhelming, it's often because we've complicated it, unintentionally. We fill our schedules, our homes, and even our minds with things we don't really need. And slowly, the clutter outside becomes clutter inside. But here's the truth: peace isn't found in more, it's found in less. Less distraction. Less noise. Less pressure to be everything to everyone. Simplicity allows us to breathe. It opens space for clarity, presence, and joy. You don't have to go live in a forest or give up all your belongings to practice this. Simplifying your life begins with small, intentional steps. And those steps can change everything. Let's break it down. How do you bring more simplicity into your everyday life? Start with your physical space. Pick one drawer, one shelf, or one room, and clear it out. Let go of the items you don't use, the things that don't bring value, and the stuff that simply creates visual noise. You'll be surprised at how decluttering your home helps declutter your mind. Then look at your schedule. Are you saying yes to things out of guilt or habit? Try this: choose one commitment this week that you can let go of, or postpone, so you can protect your energy. Remember, every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Choose wisely. You can also simplify your thoughts. We don't often realize how many mental tabs we have open: worries about tomorrow, regrets from yesterday, imaginary conversations, what-ifs, should-haves. It's exhausting. Try this: take a moment each day to pause and ask yourself, what actually matters right now? Bring your attention back to this moment, just like we did with mindfulness earlier. Often, clarity begins when we let go of what isn't essential. Here's another powerful tip: simplify your goals. It's tempting to chase 5 things at once: career, health, side projects, family, self-growth. But when you divide your attention too much, you dilute your progress. Instead, ask, what's one thing I can focus on this month that would bring real growth or joy? Give that one thing your best energy. Let it lead. The rest can follow later. Simplicity is also about your relationships. Sometimes we hold on to connections that drain us, conversations that go in circles, or people-pleasing habits that leave us empty. Letting go doesn't mean cutting people off. It means setting healthy boundaries, speaking your truth kindly, and not forcing what doesn't flow. Ask yourself, which relationships feel light and true? Which ones feel heavy or forced? Then take small steps toward more honesty and balance. Simplicity in your social life creates emotional space, and that space gives you the chance to breathe. Let me share something personal. There was a time when I felt like I had to be on all the time, posting, producing, achieving, doing. I thought complexity meant progress. But it only brought burnout. When I started simplifying my home, my commitments, even my digital life, I found something I didn't expect: mental clarity. Decisions felt easier. I slept better. I felt more connected to what truly matters. So if your mind feels cluttered, if your heart feels tired, maybe it's not because you're doing the wrong things. Maybe it's because you're doing too many things. Here's your challenge for today. Choose one thing to simplify. One drawer to clean. One task to drop. One thought to release. One commitment to reschedule. Just one. That's how it begins. Simplicity isn't about having less, it's about making room for more of what matters. More peace. More presence. More lightness. More you. Remember, you don't need a new life. You just need to clear space in the one you already have. And in that space, something beautiful will rise: clarity, calm, and contentment. So tell me in the comments, what's one thing you'll simplify today? Part 4, Meditation, Reconnecting with Yourself. Now let's talk about something powerful, yet incredibly simple: meditation. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, scattered, or disconnected from yourself, meditation is one of the most effective tools to help bring you back home, to your center. And here's the good news: you don't have to be a monk sitting on a mountain to benefit from it. A lot of people think that meditation means clearing your mind completely. But that's not true. Meditation isn't about stopping your thoughts, it's about learning to observe them without judgment. You're not trying to control what comes up. Instead, you create space for thoughts to rise and fall. You let them pass like clouds in the sky. No chasing. No clinging. Just presence. Why does this matter? Because the average person has thousands of thoughts every single day. Some are helpful, but many create stress, anxiety, or self-doubt. And when we're constantly reacting to every thought or emotion, we lose our sense of peace. Meditation gives you space to breathe. It's like taking a step back from the noise so you can hear your own voice again. It reconnects you with yourself, your calm, your strength, your truth. So how do you actually get started? It's simpler than you think. No special equipment. No long rituals. Just you, your breath, and a few minutes of quiet. Here's a basic practice you can try today. 1. Find a quiet space. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just somewhere you won't be interrupted for a few minutes. 2. Sit comfortably. You can sit on a cushion, a chair, or even lie down if that feels better. The key is to feel relaxed but alert. 3. Close your eyes gently. Begin by taking a deep breath in, and slowly exhale. 4. Focus on your breath. Notice how it feels as the air enters your nose, fills your lungs, and leaves your body. When your mind wanders, and it will, just gently guide your attention back to the breath. No judgment. No pressure. Try this for just 2 to 5 minutes a day. That's it. Over time, as it becomes a habit, you can gradually sit for longer. But the real power of meditation isn't in the length, it's in the consistency. What happens when you practice regularly? You begin to feel more centered, more grounded. Stress doesn't hit as hard. Emotions become easier to manage. And most importantly, you build a deeper relationship with yourself, not the version of you that's constantly busy or worried, but the one that's calm, wise, and aware. Even if your life is chaotic, meditation can be your anchor. You can meditate in the morning to start your day with intention. You can meditate at night to let go of what's heavy. You can even take mindful pauses throughout your day, one deep breath before a meeting, or a minute of silence before dinner. And guess what? That counts too. Meditation doesn't have to look spiritual or complicated. It's simply the practice of coming back to yourself. Let me share something personal. When I first started meditating, I thought I was doing it wrong. My mind kept running, and I felt frustrated. But a teacher told me, if you notice your mind has wandered, and you bring it back, you've succeeded. That's the practice. That shifted everything for me. So if your mind drifts when you meditate, don't worry. That's normal. The magic happens each time you return, kindly, patiently, without judgment. So here's a gentle challenge for you today. Find 5 quiet minutes. No phone. No music. Just you and your breath. Sit. Breathe. Be still. It might feel uncomfortable at first. But give it time. You're learning a new way to connect with your breath, your thoughts, and your inner self. Meditation isn't about becoming a different person. It's about remembering who you already are, calm, whole, and present. So, are you ready to meet yourself? Let me know in the comments. Have you tried meditation before? What's one word to describe how you feel after a few minutes of silence? Part 5, Compassion, the secret to true inner peace. Let's end this journey with one of the most beautiful and powerful principles in Buddhism, compassion. Compassion isn't just about being kind to others. It starts with being kind to yourself. In a world that often values achievement over presence, perfection over humanity, and strength over vulnerability, we can be incredibly hard on ourselves. We criticize our mistakes, judge our emotions, and sometimes forget that we are worthy of love, even in our most imperfect moments. Buddhist teachings remind us that true peace begins with compassion, not only outward, but inward. So, what exactly is compassion? It's more than feeling sorry for someone. Compassion is the deep wish to relieve suffering, paired with the courage to act with kindness. It's seeing someone's pain, including your own, and responding with patience, empathy, and care. Why does compassion matter so much? Because when we live with compassion, we soften the heart. We open ourselves to connection instead of separation. We release judgment and choose understanding. And from that space, inner peace naturally begins to grow, not forced, not faked, but real and lasting. So how do we begin practicing compassion? Let's start with the hardest, and yet most important, person, yourself. Think about the way you speak to yourself when you make a mistake. Would you talk to a close friend that way? Probably not. Compassion practice means learning to treat yourself with the same patience, care, and forgiveness you offer to others. If you've had a rough day, allow yourself to rest. If you said something you regret, acknowledge it, but don't punish yourself forever. Be gentle. Be human. Here's a simple phrase you can try when you're feeling overwhelmed or down. I am doing the best I can. I choose to meet myself with kindness. You'll be amazed at how quickly those words can shift your energy. Now let's extend that compassion outward. Start small. Smile at a stranger. Hold the door open. Offer a kind word or simply listen without interrupting. Compassion doesn't require grand gestures. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can ripple out and reach far more than you realize. For example, maybe you compliment someone who's having a terrible day. That tiny moment of connection might be the spark they needed to keep going. That's the quiet power of compassion. Even when people are difficult, especially when they are, responding with kindness doesn't mean you agree with them or condone bad behavior. It means you choose peace over conflict, clarity over chaos. Compassion also brings people closer together. In a divided world, acts of kindness become bridges. They remind us that we all carry struggles. That behind every face is a story. And when we remember that, it's harder to hate. It's easier to forgive. It's natural to connect. And here's something beautiful: the more compassion you give, the more peace you feel. Studies even show that people who practice compassion regularly tend to experience less anxiety, better health, and greater life satisfaction. Why? Because compassion lifts the heavy burden of resentment and replaces it with love. Simple as that. A daily compassion practice could look like this. In the morning, set an intention: may I be kind to myself and others today. When someone annoys you, pause and silently say, just like me, they want to be happy. At night, reflect on one kind thing you did or witnessed. Let that gratitude settle in. These small habits can create powerful changes over time. Not only in your relationships, but in your own heart. So here's your invitation today. Start by being a little kinder to yourself. Then, offer that same kindness to someone else, no matter how small the gesture. A kind word. A gentle response. A bit of patience. That's all it takes to spread peace in a noisy world. Compassion is not weakness. It is wisdom in action. And when practiced with intention, it becomes the secret ingredient to a life of deep, lasting peace. Conclusion. So there you have it, 5 powerful Buddhist principles that can help you rediscover a sense of calm and balance in your life. Let's take a quick moment to reflect. Mindfulness teaches us to return to the present moment. Letting go frees us from the weight of clinging. Simplicity clears our minds and lives from unnecessary clutter. Meditation connects us to our true selves. And compassion opens our hearts, allowing peace to flow both inward and outward. Remember, inner peace is not a one-time destination, it's a daily practice. It's found in the small moments, the quiet choices, the gentle shifts in how we treat ourselves and others. Even if you just start with one of these practices today, that alone is a powerful step. Over time, these small efforts grow into deep transformation. You'll find yourself more grounded, less reactive, and more in tune with what really matters. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Life Lessons for more insights on how Buddhist wisdom can guide us to live more peacefully and meaningfully. I'd love to hear from you. Which principle will you begin practicing today? Leave a comment below and join the conversation. Your experience might inspire someone else too. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, may you walk gently, breathe deeply, and live with peace in your heart. See you in the next video.